Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, from whom I learned this truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect, wherever you might be. All right, these are the 12 tribes of Israel, which are the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American Indians. All right, and this is a true depiction of our Lord and Savior, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. All right, and today we're going to be looking at some history. All right, it's a book called Nature Knows No Color Line. All right, I just want to go into this book a little bit and read some history, which is important for our people to understand. All right, and then we're going to go into the scriptures and kind of line everything up. All right, but basically, man, I want to talk about the Moors. All right, which are Israelites. All right, it talks about how they conquered, much of Europe and Africa. All right, which, these so-called white people, they want you to think that, they're the only ones who've ever been ruling and we've always been slaves and, everything good comes from them, this sort of thing, which you could watch my last video. I believe it was one of my previous videos I did recently that says our people are the best at everything, all right? It shows you how the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you know, how we invented everything and how our people are the most talented, all right? You can see this in music and sports, all right? You could see a lot of our inventions. I mean, I'll give you one off the top of my head. The Israelites invented peanut butter, all right? Another one's ice cream, the guitar, all right? Anyway, the point is, our people are the best at everything. And, we're just going to expose some of the lies, all right, that Esau has made up with his false history, okay? So without any further ado, we're going to go to page 69 of this book called Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers, all right? Bear with me. It's a brand new book, so it's very tightly bound. All right, as you can see, this is page 69. We're going to start from the top. It says the Negro as Moor, all right, because the word Moor means black, all right, and it's talking about the so-called Negroes, okay? The Negro as Moor, Negro ancestry in aristocratic European families, which the word aristocratic means of the highest class. So you could think upper class, all right? The rich, the top people of a particular society, all right? So it's going to go into, how that happened. It says 7 years after the capture of Gibraltar, the Moors invaded France and conquered or overran most of its southern portion. They probably went as far east as Geneva. Switzerland was then part of France. I'm going to skip down. It says in 838, they took Marseilles, and in 842, Arles. Aided by fellow Muslims from the east, they captured Sicily in 837 and took 1,000,000 pieces of gold. In 846, they invaded Italy, seized Rome. Okay? Because, this is all during the Dark Ages, okay? Because Rome fell around 476 AD, all right? That was the Western Roman Empire, all right? And then after that, you got the Byzantine, all right? But basically, it says they invaded Italy and seized Rome, all right? That was in 846, because the Dark Ages is, roughly between 500 AD to 1500 AD, all right? And they call it the Dark Ages, because there were so-called black kings ruling in Egypt, all right? Or Salakia, not Egypt, Europe, all right? But yeah, And it says in 846 they invaded Italy, seized Rome, plundered the Vatican and St. Peter's Cathedral, and carried off immense wealth in gold, jewelry, tapestry, and paintings, right? So they were, you know, spoiling these different places that they were conquering. It says in Africa, the Moors continued to be a leading power, and to no little extent in India. Also, they dominated the Mediterranean and the North Atlantic and plundered the coasts of Western Europe and the British Isles. They even conquered and ruled parts of Scotland. David McRitchie, eminent British archaeologist, says so late as the 10th century, 3 of these provinces were wholly black, right, which means fully black. And the supreme ruler of them became for a time the paramount king of transmarine Scotland. All right. And it says, we see one of the black people, the Moors of the Romans, in the person of a king of Alban of the 10th century. History knows him as Kenneth, sometimes as Dub, and as Niger, okay, which the word Niger goes into black, all right? That's where you get the slur nigger from, all right? That's where it comes from, all right? But yeah, man, as you can see, basically, you know, the Southern Kingdom tribes, you know, they were conquering Europe, India, Africa, all right? So much so that they had Esau in captivity, and they were ruling in all these different areas, all right? This is why you see these coat of arms with so-called Negroes on their shields, all right? Which we're going to get some examples here in this book, all right? Bear with me. All right, let's go to page 76. Okay. Right here's page 76. Boom, as you can see. It says, Negroes in coats of arms of noble families. All right, you can see clearly these are so-called Negroes. All right, and these are pictures in these coat of arms, man. All right, which a coat of arms is like, you know, a family symbol or something. You know, you could look it up, but basically, you know, this is going into these aristocratic families having these coat of arms as Negroes, right? And you would have to wonder, okay, well, if the so-called white man was always in power, then how come you had so-called black royalty, right? Or black kings or black people of the upper class, right? Right? We're going to keep turning the pages and you're going to keep seeing these different examples. There's more examples on page 83. All right? Boom. As you can see there, man. All these different, it says Negroes in coats of arms of noble families, man. All right? So we weren't always in ghettos. These, you know, these, you know, poor people in ghettos, just, you know, not having a clue, simple as hell. We weren't always like that, man. All right? We used to be a really great people. And we really still are, man. It's just the Lord has us in a cursed state because this is part of our judgment. All right? You can read Deuteronomy 28. All right? That's biblical prophecy that we would be enslaved and scattered. Okay? But there's also times in history where we were on top. All right? And you can even go back further than this to the time of King David. When the nations were subdued by King David, all right, the Edomites and all the other nations were tributaries unto us, man. All right, so all these other nations, you know, were our slaves. All right? But yeah, man, you can see these different coat of arms. All right? Okay? Some really good examples. Okay? Clearly, so-called black people, man. You can see the nose, the broad lips, okay? All the different features, okay? You can see some of these dates even after the, even after the Dark Ages, all right? You could tell this is a Jake. You can see the nose, the lips, all right? So, there was some mixing going on, okay? So as you can see, some of these examples, we were looking back at some of them. I saw one for 1421. All right, so, for a long time, our people have been ruling, man. All right? During the Dark Ages, right? Dark goes back to black, right? Between the fall of the Western Roman Empire and the start of the Renaissance period, all right? Which is the Renaissance period is the period when, the Edomites start building back, all right? Which y'all know, like the scriptures say, it says like, Esau says he will build up, or, roughly paraphrasing, Esau will build up, and the Lord says, well, they will build up, but I will throw down. All right, showing you that, yeah, they're going to come back for a time, but ultimately it's going to lead to their demise, right? Which we're at the end of Esau's rulership, all right, which is the American Empire. Okay, we're at the end of the age, all right, and we know, pursuant to 2nd Esdras, all right, it says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, so that means after this rulership, man, there are no more Gentile rulerships, man. It's going to be the Israelites. We got next, all right? We got next the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans, all right? So with that, I'm going to put this book away. We're going to get the scriptures out, and we're going to kind of, go into a few different precepts real quick, and we'll close out, Lord willing. All right. So we're going to go to Genesis 27. All right, this is Genesis, the 27th chapter. We're going to start at the 28th verse. So we're going to read, the two different blessings. You got Jacob, which are the Israelites, right? We know Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and he had 12 sons. Those are the 12 tribes that I showed you earlier. All right, so we're going to go into our blessing, and then we'll go into Esau's blessing, and you'll understand how this all ties together. All right, so we're going to start in verse 28, and it reads, Therefore the Most High gave thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Right, it's talking about Jacob. So, that's our blessing. People are going to serve us and bow down to us. All right, be Lord over thy brethren, right? So we're going to be Lord over our brethren. All right, all these other nations, all right, Esau included, we're going to be lords over them. All right, it says, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. Verse 30 continues, and it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn, Esau. Right, because, it's a custom, for us to give the blessing to the firstborn. All right, but if you read, the book of Genesis, you'll understand that Jacob supplanted Esau, man. Right? We basically, what Jacob did was, y'all can remember the story where Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. All right, and then, Jacob, basically pretended to be Esau in order to get that firstborn blessing from Isaac. Okay, and it's going to continue here. It says, and Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed, right? He can't take that blessing back, man. So, it was of the Lord's will for Jacob to get the superior blessing. Verse 34, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? Right, because Jacob means supplanter. It says, For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? Right? And Esau is a profane person. He sold us his birthright for a meal. All right, which shows you what kind of a dumbass Esau is. And these are the people who rule over us. That's why this whole world is upside down, inside out, and all fucked up. All right, these aren't the people of the Lord, man. All right, the Lord is going to set it up so where we rule the earth under his rulership, under the rulership of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and these Edomites, they're doing their job as the wicked. All right, but as you can see, man, it wasn't really for them to have that blessing, man, because imagine what the mindset they had. It just wasn't for them. All right, but continuing on, verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live. All right, so that's how Esau lives now, man. By the sword. As you can see, it's through his army, his military, that he rules, this earth in wickedness, man. He goes to these other nations, starts wars over there. All right, he'll start a war on his own people, or Salakia. He'll stage a false flag event on his own people to go fight wars over there to keep control. All right, it's through bloodshed, murder, rape, and robbery, or should I say grape and robbery, that Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, rules this earth. It says, and by the sword shalt thou live and serve thy brother. You see? I'm going to say it again. And by thy sword shalt thou live and shall serve thy brother. So as you can see, all right, even during, the course of history and during that time, the Dark Ages, right, it's prophesied that we're going to rule over Esau, which we did. All right, so he's not always going to have his foot up our ass. All right, there was times in history when we ruled, and there's times when he ruled. All right, continuing on, it says, and it shall come to pass, or Salakia, let's read that again, verse 40. And by the sword shalt thou live and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right, during the time of the Greek Empire, all right, the ancient Roman Empire, right, or the Western Roman Empire, right, and now during the American Empire, all right, during all these times, all right, we did not have Esau in captivity. He had us in captivity, and he has us in captivity right now. All right, verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. then will I slay my brother Jacob. Right? And that's that spirit that Esau has on him to this day. He hates us with passion, man, because we took his blessing, all right? Which really, that was ordained of the Heavenly Father anyway, all right? But Esau, he hates us, man. Right? The scripture says he has a perpetual hatred for the Israelites. All right. But yeah, man, eventually, like it says here, in verse 40, right? Thou shalt serve thy brother, right? Eventually, once Yahweh Shai returns, all right, our blessing is going to kick into full effect, and we're going to be on top forever. It's an eternal kingdom, all right, which is our hope. It's a beautiful thing to come, man. And Esau Edom's going to go right back where he belongs, under our feet, in captivity, man. All right. But yeah, man, basically, we had him for servants during the time of the Dark Ages, during the time of David, all right. These Edomites, they were tributaries and slaves, all right. And, eventually we're going to be ruling again, all right. But just so y'all know, man, this Edomite, this devil, during the time of the Renaissance, he started, erasing history and all that. And even before then, I could give you a good example in the book of the Maccabees. This is how Esau works, man. He's a liar. He's a deceiver. All right, let's go to the book of the Maccabees. First Maccabees, chapter 1. All right, and we're going to read a quick account of, we're going to go into where it talks about how Antiochus, all right, this evil Edomite, which, they're all evil, but this one was especially wicked, all right? This Antiochus, we're going to go ahead and read it, and then I'll go over it. But basically, it's a good example of, how these Edomites work. They delete history, okay, and they make it seem like they're the people, all right? Like you got, for example, the Israelites are so-called black men, but they changed us to so-called white men, all right? With the, the modern painting of so-called Jesus, right? And the disciples are painted as white people, man, as so-called white people, all right? Showing you how these devils, delete history and change history, all right? Because they're forgers of lies, like the scriptures say, man. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read First Maccabees starting at verse 41. It says, Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, right? You see the same message they bringing out now in modern America, and this whole world is, for everybody to be one, you see? All right, verse 42, and every one should leave his laws, so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. Right, so they stopped serving Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and they started serving Antiochus and all his, the different idols of ancient Greece. Verse 41, for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. All right, so yeah, this Antiochus guy, he wanted everybody sacrificing to idols, sinning, breaking the laws. All right, verse 47, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, which we know that's an abomination. All right, you're not supposed to sacrifice swine, right? Or build anything for idols, right? So, this is just wicked, purely wicked all over. Okay, that's, what this guy Antiochus was getting, trying to force the Jews, basically to become Greeks, all right? And this is going into the Hellenization of the Jews, okay? Which is a very important history for our people to be able to understand why in the New Testament it says neither Jew nor Greek. Okay, and people will mistake that and think that, oh, well, that means, the heathen can get saved. That means so-called white people can get saved, so-called Arabs, so-called Chinese. No, it's talking about Israelites who basically became Greeks, okay, and, how those Israelites can become, can come back to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, because you have a group of Jews that stayed being Jews and a group of Jews that became Greeks. All right, roughly just kind of, just to kind of summarize it for y'all who don't know this history. All right, it says, verse 48, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Verse 49, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. See? So that was the point, is to turn the truth, the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to basically erase it from our memory, to take away our heritage, man, to make us forget who we are, okay? And that's a very good parallel to what they're doing, in the schools, man. They don't teach us the true history of the Israelites, right? They don't teach us that we are Israelites, okay? They want you to think that you're black, you're Hispanic, you're Native American. No, you're Israelites, man. All right, that's how Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, rolls, man. He's a liar and a deceiver. All right. And whosoever should not do according to the commandment of the king, he should die. He said he should die. Right? So he killed you if you didn't follow this ultimately. All right, verse 51, in the self-same manner wrote he his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law. And so they committed evils in the land and drove the Israelites into secret places, right? Into the wilderness, all right? Because our people were afraid to be in their own city, man. You had these heathen over there ready to mess us up if we decided to follow or keep any of the laws or worship Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. These damn heathens, they were ready to fuck us up, all right? Even whithersoever they could flee for succor. All right. Now the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation, right? Which is that's where they were sacrificing swine in our temples. All right. It says upon the altar, and building idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. 55, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. So as you can see right there, all right, they destroyed the books of the law, all right? All right, so as you can see, it ain't nothing for this devil, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, to change history, all right, to remove certain things, okay? And you can see this in a modern parallel to this is how they removed this very book we're reading, First Maccabees, from the Bible, all right, which is a part of a collection of 13 books, Salakia, 14 books called the Apocrypha, okay? And this Bible I have comes with the Apocrypha, but those that, you want to get the Apocrypha separately, you can. It's a little red book, right? You can buy it online. It's called the Apocrypha. It's those 14 books. And, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, did that because, these 14 books are important. So for you to be able to fully understand the New Testament, you need to know the history of what happened to our people and why we were calling each other Greeks and Gentiles, all right? Because we, basically a group of us forsook, we forsook the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in order to, do what Antiochus wanted us to do, all right? part of that whole Greek Hellenization thing where, you know, our people were forced to become Greeks or die. All right. So going back, verse 57, and wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. So again, we were killed if they found us, you know, even reading the law or obeying any of it. We were forced to break all the laws, as many laws as possible. All right. Verse 58, thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. So they put their altar on top of our altar. All right, a slap in the face to us and to the Most High, man. All right, and these devils think they're going to get away with this stuff, but they're not, man. The Lord is preserving them for that great and final judgment, man. All right, that lake of fire is for these Edomites, man. All right, 200 million nuclear missiles from Russia and all these other nations joined together against this beast. All right, that's their judgment, man. All right, like the scriptures say, because of riches gotten by deceit. All right, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's what's going to happen to you Edomites, man. All these riches that you stored up for the last days, you demonic international banking families. All right, this is the wicked, and we call them out by name, man. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all right, all these different international banking families. Okay, you are the wicked that the Bible speaks of, all right, and the rest of you Edomites too, man. But it begins with these devils who are at the top, all right, and yeah, that's Cesare Borgia, all right, as you can see, painting lies again, man. All right, the book of the Maccabees, the same book you could read. It says that the heathen opened the book of the law and painted the likeness of their own images, man. You see? And they did the same thing with Yahweh Shai, man. Painted him as a so-called white man. So as you can see, you know, we know what type of people this so-called white race is, man. They're the devil. All right, these Edomites, man. All right, so as you can see, you know, don't believe what they say. All right, we bring out the 100% truth according to the scriptures here. All right, we're going to go to the book of Job. We'll get one more precept. We're going to go to the book of Job, chapter 13 and verse 40. All right. This is Job. All right, bear with me. This is Job, chapter 13 and verse 4. It says, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. See, so they forge lies. Okay, and we're going to go into the blue letter real quick. All right, and I'm going to show the word forge, okay, in the blue letter. All right, this is Job chapter 13 and verse 4. We're going to get the word forgers. This is H2950.
Strong's H2950. Tafal.
All right, here we go. It says Tafel, to impute falsely. We get that word impute. To represent something, especially something undesirable, as being done, caused, or possessed by somebody. Right. So they, false representatives, man. They're lying. To impute falsely. Forger. All right. Forger. To sew up. All right. So now, let's go ahead. Show you guys an illustration, man. So, when they forge these swords, okay, which is where the word, forge makes you, it makes you think of a sword. They get a piece of metal, they heat it up, they beat the shit out of it, they cool it down, they heat it up again, they beat the shit out of it until eventually this rough piece of metal becomes a nice sharpened, finished sword. Well, you could think about that's how Esau fabricates all these different lies, man. All right, you could think about 9/11, all right, and how, basically how they fabricated that scenario in order to go to war over there. All right, you could think about 2020 with the whole illness C-19 situation, where they forced a good majority of the world to take the jump shot. All right, and as we know, more people died from the jump shot than from the actual illness, man. All right, and so that's how Esau works, man. All right, and he creates these false narratives, these false pictures, these false history in order to make himself appear as if he's the people, he's the Most High, right? You can see this in every church, man, with the name, that fake name. You see? Which we know this is Cesare Borgia, man. All right, so they paint themselves as if they are the Most High, man, when really these are the real pictures you find all over Europe, man. All right, these are the real pictures of, the saints and Yahweh Shai, man. The true depictions, rather, okay, which are painted as so-called black men. All right, and these people over there, these this is another lie. They say that these are the true JEWs. All right, these so-called white people over there, which they were exposed by a man named Gamal Abdel Nasser. All right, he's the second president of the United Arab Republic, formerly president of the Republic of Egypt. It says the Europeans claiming to be JEWs are nothing more than Hebrew-speaking Gentiles. The late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, stated on television, "You, the JEWs, will never be able to live here in peace because you left here black but came back white. We cannot accept you." That was 1952, man. And we could go on and on and on and give you all these different examples about how that, is a lie. All right. But, basically that's a whole nother lesson. Let's go back to this precept real quick. Let's go to where it talks about them being base men. That's also in the book of Job. All right. This is Job 30 and verse 8. And it reads, "They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth." Okay? And it's talking about Esau eating the so-called white man, all right? If you could read the whole chapter, it's talking about in verse 6 to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks, right? Those are the original cave dwellers, man, the cavemen, those Edomites, man, all right? So let's go to the word base real quick. That's H8034, all right?
Strong's H 8034. Shame. Shame.
All right. And this is one of those words where you got to go to the arrow. All right. So 1097. Belay.
Strong's H 1097. Belly. Belly.
That's where you get the word corruption. All right. Without, not, for lack of, unawares, without, okay, wearing out, all right, which we're going to get the etymology of this word because it's going to be more clear and concise, okay? This is the word base, is adjective, all right? It means low, right? Late 14th century, it says low of little height, All right, lowly. All right, stumpy, low. All right, low in stature or position. Right. You see, so yeah, these so-called white people ain't nothing, man. It's their turn to rule. All right, all the nations had their chance. All right, but when it's all said and done, all right, Yahweh Shai is gonna return. Yahweh Shai is gonna return and put all these different nations under our feet. All right, the true Shai. All right, they might have erased history and destroyed a bunch of evidence. Hey, but like the scriptures say, everything that's hidden is gonna come to the light, man. All right, how the things of Esau are sought out, man. Hey, we've got the truth. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right, so with that, I pray this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and shalom to the hopeful elect. May you endure until the end. Shalom.